So DC just revealed that Wonder Woman would beat Superman in a fight to the death. And now I have to ask myself, do I think this is true? So look, comic books are like this, and this fight has played out multiple times. Most recently, it has played out, and it is shown to us that Wonder Woman would win this confrontation. But it's also been shown to us that she gets beat around by Superman and has no chance against him at all. And of course, comic books as comic books, being the way they are, oftentimes we'll see somebody win, and then they can't contend with some other person, such as when Wonder Woman fights Doomsday, she gets rocked. But evidently she can rock Superman. Now, there are certain circumstances in place where one man might be able to beat another man, or one woman might be able to beat another woman, and so on and so forth, but not be able to beat that same other person that the other person could beat because of circumstances and power sets and so on and so forth. That's all well and fine. But when you talk about Superman, that is a character who was designed to be the pinnacle. He is pretty much the end-all, be-all of every character in DC. But if we're going to break this down and we're going to talk about these two fighting to the death, I may have to agree with this current book, not just because I like Wonder Woman, but there is sufficient evidence for me to believe that she could win this fight. One, Superman is mortal. I know that sounds stupid, but Superman, being for all the godlike power that he has, is still a mortal. He is not counted amongst the likes of things like the gods, old gods, new gods. He's not. He's not in that pantheon of power. He's incredibly broken and possibly the strongest thing existing in that field that he's in the mortal realm. But when you get into the gods, the new gods, and things like that, though I have seen him fight them and win, he's not usually counted in their power base. Usually it's thought that something like Darkseid could beat him, although time and time again he's proven that he can take Darkseid one-on-one by himself. So we have the comic book argument problem here, that oftentimes the characters serve the story, not the story serving the characters. And I've developed a problem with this over time, which I'm really trying to focus on. And I know I'm not trying to continually advertise, but my mind has been in comic books lately because I am finally buckling down and I'm writing my own comic book, and I'm trying to keep it in mind that though I want the story to go certain places, I have to make sure that the characters are capable of taking the story in the direction that I want. That's the reason I've avoided the superhero tale in what I'm doing, because superheroes get awfully complicated, because if it's Batman's book, you don't want necessarily Batman to lose, but in a Batman-Superman confrontation, there's really no chance. There isn't. I don't care how much prep time he had. Superman can literally fly outside the atmosphere of the planet, use his microscopic vision, and just send a laser beam down. Pew! Dead. It's over. But he can't do that with somebody like Wonder Woman that can block projectiles moving faster than the speed of light. This fight, he has to fight. And this is where things get different. Wonder Woman, because of all the changes in her story over the years, is a demigod. A demigod birthed from the old gods. She's powerful. She's immensely powerful. And if you remove those bracelets, she's even more broken. And she has one thing on Superman that he doesn't have: training. I do believe that Superman is stronger than her, faster than her, and has greater power than her. But having power and knowing how to use said power are two different things. And while he may know two Kryptonian martial arts, while he may have been fist fighting his whole life, the experience that Wonder Woman brings to the table is undeniable. She's a demigoddess that is probably like 4,000 years old, if not a little older. And she has combat prowess and experience that ranges through those years. And if you take off her restrictions, if you remove those gauntlets, I believe the fight would take a while, and seeing the results of this current book, they claim that Wonder Woman is the reason the planet is in the position that it's in, because her battle with Superman was incredibly violent and wrecked the Earth. That's believable to me. You're talking about people that can fight faster than the speed of light. People that in a single punch could rip atmosphere off the planet. And if they fight on our planet instead of outside of our planet's atmosphere on a moon or something of that nature, then they're incredibly dangerous, because their battle literally threatens our planet, just like, say, Goku and Frieza. But I do believe that if I have to pick one of these two to win, I am going with Wonder Woman this time, and for the future as well. I think that if these two fight, and even though we've seen it before where it's the other way around, I truly believe that oftentimes the characters serve the story. The story doesn't serve the characters. And I think oftentimes what you see is you need Superman to win said confrontation, so he does. And then the story just has to adapt. So I guess, to be fair, I've been saying it wrong, because what happens is, the characters serve the story. That's right. The characters, whatever the story needs to be, the characters will bend their will to make that story happen. And that's just common comic book writing. And though I don't agree with it, and like I said, I've really got to keep my mind on where I am in comic books right now because of what I'm planning to do, this changes some of the ways that I've been viewing comic books. And while it's very exciting to say, ooh, Spider-Man wins so-and-so fight, sometimes that's bullshit. And sometimes it very much is plot armor, and sometimes we just had to make the story work this way. So taking away all those rules in a death match, Wonder Woman versus Superman, I think Wonder Woman will beat him, because she's every bit as broken as he is. Except while his power may be infinite, it has been proven time and time again that he does take damage. And if she takes those bracelets off, she's been strong enough to break his arms. I don't see why she couldn't punch through his chest, especially if it drug out long enough. Because his physical attacking prowess is very much a solid foot boxer. He just throws haymakers and mean punches, and he's very strong, and that's what he tends to rely on, is the fact that he is stronger. And not normally does he rely on a strategic element in battle that I have witnessed. I mean, he fights Doomsday, it's just a slugfest. It's not a martial arts prowess type of thing. But where she fights, it always is a martial arts prowess type of thing. And 9 out of 10 times, the puncher will fall to the mixed martial artist. It's just the way that it is. So yes, that's my decision. That's my take on this corner of the fandom. Wonder Woman wins this fight, hands down. I truly believe that. Agree or disagree, I'm going to get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.